It's the thrill of one more kill, the last one to fall. We'll never sacrifice their will. Don't ever look back on the world closing in. Be on the attack with your wings on the wind. All the things will begin. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. It's ours for the taking. It's ours for the fight. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. And the wall is ours to fall. The winner takes all. We're going no silver. We only lose the gold. You push with fever. Oh, your time keeps going on. Against all the odds, against all your pain, your back's on the wall with no one to blame. One heart won't contain. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. It's ours for the taking.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
What is up, everybody? Todd Patrick wanted to get on here and do a little preview show with you guys, so I figured let's go ahead and get it done. We got the KBBT Second Bracket Championship coming up tomorrow morning. Bright and early, because they're both Eastern time, boys, and it is going to be a showdown. Smallmouth versus largemouth, north versus south, spawning fish versus post-spawn, and Doug Wilson is on a mission. He's decided that he is not going to be a three-sweep guy, even though we chose Jeremy Baker. Doug Wilson went out and made it a point to prove us broadcasters wrong, and he has been on some fish. I hope Jeremy is ready. Well, we're going to go ahead and bring Mr. Todd Patrick on the line here, since tonight was his idea. So we're going to give him credit where credit is due. Go ahead and give him a shout real fast. Maybe. Mr. Patrick.
What is up, my friends?
What is going on, brother?
Just hanging out in Tennessee, actually. My light's not the best in here. It's dark outside, but see if we can make it a little better for you. Hopefully you guys can see me a little better.
Well, dude, we got the championship tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
It's going to be all-day coverage. I mean, this is going to be better than the Bassmaster Classic.
I don't know about that, but we're gonna have fun with it, and we got two anglers that are itching to get out on the water and prove themselves all the way through this bracket. And one of them is going to be worthy of taking home the title of champion next to their name. So it's going to be fun.
Doug Wilson's on a mission.
He is. I talked to him for about an hour and a half. I did.
That man right there is, he is determined to prove us wrong.
Yeah, he is. And he's also determined to prove himself that he can do this too. So both guys have driving factors that are going to equate for an amazing showdown tomorrow and an awesome 1v1 winner take all championship tomorrow. So it's going to be great.
I love how you quoted the opening song. That's awesome. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about what you talked to these guys about, or do you just want to bring them on air? How do you want to go about tonight's show?
Well, I think that they're both actually probably trying to relax a little bit. I talked to Doug last. He said that he has an alarm set for about 2:30 in the morning. So he has a pretty strenuous regiment in the morning for tournament day. And so he's probably going to be relaxing. And Jeremy probably needs to settle down a little bit. So he's probably getting his relax on, hopefully a little bit, and kind of finishing up some loose ends, maybe tying some leaders, things like that. So, I kind of talked to both.
Is he going shark fishing?
Yeah, I'm not. You know what I mean? He's tying some fluoro onto some braid and just making sure he's ready to roll tomorrow. But yeah, so I got to talk to both of them today. We'll talk about Jeremy Baker first.
Preach.
I actually, so we had a group 8, Elite 8 message group. And I was able to reach out to the Elite 8 and kind of thank them for everything that they'd done and congratulated them again on making it as far as they did. And then I congratulated the Final Four. And lastly, I congratulated Doug Wilson and Jeremy Baker for making the championship and how great that they've represented their state and KBBT and themselves as anglers, and it's a treat to have the both of them in the championship. And then I went on there and I actually said a little prayer for them tomorrow, and had everybody hopping on there, and then all the other anglers that were in the Elite 8, the other 6 were coming in and congratulating them for moving on and making it as far as they have. And it was really cool to see the camaraderie that we have with kayak bass fishing. Man, I wish that your screen wasn't so dark, because every time I just took a picture of myself sometimes.
This is going great.
But the camaraderie that we have in the fishing community with everybody, and how everybody reaches out and everybody is congratulatory, even in defeat, for the anglers that are moving on to the championship. And it was really cool to see. But then after that was all said and done, I'd missed the previous, I tried to call Jeremy, missed it. He called me back. Then I missed him. He called back. So I got a hold of Jeremy, and I was talking to Jeremy, and he sounded rather tense, rather kind of worked up, and kind of a little antsy. And that's the first time I've heard Jeremy that way. And I was kind of like, hey man, you're here for a reason, man. Just keep doing what you do. And he calmed down on the phone call. He's like, man, thanks for this. I needed it. And I was like, tomorrow, it's not, we're not doubting your fishing ability tomorrow, and we're not doubting your fishery. The only thing that you have to control is your head. And that's why I hope tomorrow maybe, or sometime, we can lead into maybe G-Man's PMA speech, because I've talked about it several times, and I still think that there's a lot of people that maybe have never seen it or never heard it. But to keep your head right, not in just fishing, but in all aspects of life, when you're going through a rough time, or when you're going through some adversity, or even when you're in the ups, and to keep your head straight when you're doing things right. And, I kind of told Jeremy that. I said, you're going to find the fish. You've been on them for 6 rounds now. You have one more to go. And, just keep your head right and go home and relax. And I even told him, I said, cuddle with your wife, go cook a steak on the grill. Just relax and just do what you do. And remember that fishing is fun. And by the end of the phone call, he was settled down. He was thanking me for the phone call. And he said, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. This is go time. And this is time for me to go out and just to solidify everything that I've done this far in this tournament. And, it was a good conversation with him. As far as, I guess I could talk about this. I hope he wouldn't get upset, but a lot of his fish are off beds now. He's got a lot of roamers. Fish have moved. It's got him flustered a little bit. We had some heavy winds come in and milk up the water, and they've moved out. They might be on rock piles now. They might be in, they might be at drop offs now. He's found them kind of more scattered, but he's got a plan. And that's key. He's got a plan that he wants to stick to tomorrow. And his plan starts off with a couple of fish that he did find on beds still. And he said that if he jacks a 19 or a 19 and a half tomorrow, first thing in the morning, he said everything's going to, it's going to feel pretty good. But I told him, I said, Jeremy, champions adapt, champions adjust, and champions, they can go out there and have their plan A not work and work on plan B and C, and they can make it through, and they could still perform at a high level. And you're a guy that can do that. You've shown it several times before. And I think that really calmed him down when I said that. I think he was, he's like, you know what? I got a plan. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to hit this spot. I'm going to fish it till a certain amount of time. I'm going to move to another spot, because his fish are scattered now. So he's not like he's just going out there and cherry picking fish off beds or anything like that. Not saying that that's easy at all, because I went out there and threw a drop shot with Eric Siddiqui on Monday. I didn't catch a fish, but Eric's sitting there jacking 2 of them in a cast. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that video out on his page.
Did he throw the rods simultaneously?
No. So what he did was he threw one and he started reeling it in. You know how a lot of times when you catch a fish on beds, the other fish will hang with it or hug it or kind of come up with it.
He's seen the other fish coming with it.
And so he's like, screw it. So he unhooked he grabbed it while he had the other fish hooked on. He grabbed another rod with his other hand, unhooked the bait with his teeth. I think it was a dark sleeper, and chucked it out there, and the fish bit. And he set the hook with his other hand. And he's like, Todd, turn around. Todd, turn around. I'm like, dude, I got a fish on bed I'm trying to get. This fish is like squaring off with me. He's like swimming out, coming back, staring at me. Swimming out, staring at me. He's getting agitated. I'm like, I'm about to get a fish. I'm about to get my first bed fish. He's like, turn around. So I turn around and look, and he's got 2 fish, poles bent over. And he's sitting there. He's like, what do I do? And I was like, reel him in. So he got them both in. And it was a cool little video. I think he had an 18 and a half and an 18 3/4, or the 2 that he had on. And I'm like, that's something that just never happened. That's pretty cool. So we got that on video. But yeah, man, getting back to Jeremy and talking with him, I think he's game for tomorrow. And then I actually told both anglers this. We'll get to Doug next. I told both anglers this. I said, this is a mental game tomorrow. You guys are both on amazing fisheries. You guys are both on fish, and you guys are both amazing fishermen. I said, tomorrow when we go live at 9 or 9:30, and you guys see each other head to head, and we're sitting here and we're commentating, me and Mark are commentating, and we say, oh my gosh, blank angler just jacked a 19 and a half. if you're not that angler to just jack that fish, you've got to keep your head straight and you have to keep grinding to counter that blow. And you can't let that mental aspect get into play tomorrow. So tomorrow, I've had this conversation with both guys. We're going to see who gets affected, and I guarantee you that will affect an angler on championship day. So when we give them that head-to-head aspect, and Jeremy Baker jacks a 19.5 on camera, and Doug Wilson's got a 13 on the board, and he's finding he's in a dink fest and he's looking for the big ones, it's going to affect him. If Doug Wilson comes out tomorrow and put jacks a 22.25 on in front of Jeremy tomorrow, that's going to affect him. It's all about a head game tomorrow, and these guys, it's going to be it's going to be a treat. So everybody that is first time tuning in, or if you guys have been following us from the beginning all the way back in April, tomorrow is going to be an absolute treat. Marcus and I are going to get to have a front row seat to an absolute slugfest tomorrow, and it's going to be a treat.
Absolutely, we're gonna do our best to have both anglers on as long as possible. We're gonna give them the last couple hours of the day. Kind of free time. I'm probably going to give them the last 3 hours of a 10-hour day. Go ahead and do their thing. So we'll probably broadcast until about 1 Eastern tomorrow. I'm going to do my best to get up a little bit early. I'm going to shoot for 8:30, and just try to broadcast until about 1. And that way we get them on for half the day through the majority of part. But they've got the morning to themselves. They've got the afternoon to themselves. And really, that's what we want to focus on. That way, we're there for the hard bite instead of the great bite. We don't want them worrying about their phones when the fish are really going at it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's going to be an absolute treat. And then we've talked about Jeremy Baker now. I had a super long, I think, an hour and a half conversation. It seemed like possibly with Doug Wilson, and he's eager. He's here to prove kind of to himself. I still feel that he belongs here. I think he still doubts that, he should have been knocked out that week that he put up the 58.25 or whatever it was. I think that he feels that, he kind of slid in here to the championship, and, I try, obviously you reassure the angler, you deserve to be here. You went through your gauntlet. He went through his gauntlet. You're here. It's a 1v1 format, and that's how it works out sometimes. So, but Doug is, I'm going to tell you something that's really crazy, and I hope that Jeremy's not watching this, because this would be crazy. But Doug went out and threw up a big, huge number on pre-fishing on Tuesday.
Like Doug's 108, wasn't it?
Doug's not been on the water since.
No, it was 112.
I think it was 108. I think 108 sounds right.
Okay. It might be 108, but dude, Doug,
but
man, here's the thing. You can't ever count out the Canadians, all right? You just can't do it, because one moment they're nice and the next moment they're ripping your hopes and dreams and stomping them in the dirt. You can't ever count him out. But the thing about it is Doug Wilson is going against the most consecutive angler that I think consecutive is the right word, that we have had thus far. Consistent. Not consecutive. Consistent angler we have ever had in the 2 months brackets of KBBT. There's not been another more consistent angler than Jeremy Baker as far as my math goes.
Yeah, with his overall average if you drop his first week of 78.5 and you go off of his last 5 weeks, Jeremy Baker's put up a 99.25, a 95, a 96, a 100, and a 97. That's nasty.
That's nasty.
That's sick.
Is nasty.
And then Doug has had a couple of 98s in there. I think he had a 92 and maybe a 95. I don't remember. But Doug's had a couple of weeks where he was a little on the lower end.
Where Doug broke 100, didn't he break 100 this last week?
No. Nope. I got it right here. If you want to give me a second, I got all this stuff written down here.
Well, you get that. I'm gonna go ahead and dial in our captain here. We're gonna go ahead and send Greg a call while we're on the line.
He beat what? Silas Garrett, right?
Yes.
Doug's bags thus far have been 98, 93.75, 58 and a quarter, 88 and a quarter, 98, 91 and a half. So Doug's hit 98 twice, and he's been over 90 4 times.
Mr. Nozar!
Boys! Wow, brother.
Oh,
What's
my
going
God.
on?
He's still got the Bears jersey on. I thought
Are
he
you
would take
still
that off
wearing
already.
that garbage?
I'm on my way home, yes. I'm still got the Bears jersey representing gladly the Bears.
I'm going to hit you with this. This was going to be a Doug Wilson joke. Now I'm going to hit you with
Does Arkansas have a professional football team?
No.
Or does Arkansas have any football team?
No.
Okay, so you are disqualified from this conversation, sir.
I think the best team in Arkansas is like Arkansas State, and I don't even know what their mascot is. They're like
I made a movie about it. It was pretty terrible.
Hey, their college baseball team's pretty good.
Okay, well then,
And their basketball team would have had a really good run this year if it wasn't for the whole snenario we got roped into. But
the same thing about George Mason University too, but that doesn't get us anywhere.
But I'm going to say the same joke that I've been saying for 20 years. My team has got 5 rings. That ain't going to change for 20 more.
That's as old as Jimmy Johnson's hair, man, right now. So, I mean, you weren't even born when the last time Dallas Cowboys won the freaking Super Bowl.
I was alive for 2 of them. I've just been in diapers for both of them.
What was it? 97 when they beat Pittsburgh?
94 and 96, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's been 92. Or 90.
It was 90. It was 96 or 97.
Yeah,
I was
Troy
in like
Aikman won
2nd
2
grade.
of
I
them.
remember.
Yeah, maybe. I have to remember. I know it was the last one I saw was when Whitney Houston sang the anthem, and it was ridiculous. It was the best anthem I ever heard. But I think they were playing. I can't remember who they played.
Well, if you say Bills,
I know they
you
played.
got a really
I know
good
they played
chance.
I know they played the Steelers in one of them.
If you say the Bills, you got a really good chance at being right.
Yeah, it was the Bills. That's right. It was the Bills. Yep. On their 4th Super Bowl loss.
That's at least you're not a Bills fan. At least you're not a Bills fan.
So,
Yeah,
Greg,
exactly.
to get into what we're here for, did you hear about my conversation with Jeremy Baker at all?
I did, yeah, man. I mean, I also listened to the Bass, Kayak, and Beers podcast, and Jeremy kind of brought all that up. It was really good. I mean, Armando did a great job letting these guys speak. I don't know if you heard the podcast, but yeah, he Jeremy brought up that very same point about his water almost getting blown out. I mean, it's like muddy. I mean, they had high winds. The bass are kind of pulling off the beds. And so, yeah, I mean, I think for the first time that Jeremy is a little bit, I wouldn't say concerned, but it's a new ball game for him. He's got to search in new waters or new areas more so than he's already had to.
Mm-hmm.
But Doug's walking in very confident, man. Doug's got a rejuvenation, I think, as an angler. I mean, he's been extremely impressive this week. I think more so he's motivated now that all 3 of us picked against him. But this guy is just enjoying this moment. You know what I mean? And so Doug's kind of like, you know what? I'm the underdog. I don't care if I win or lose. I'm just going to have fun with it. And there's like 0 pressure. Jeremy's kind of feeling it. But that doesn't mean that Jeremy's not going to win. I still think Jeremy's going to win. But I think Jeremy's going to have to do a little bit more work. And hopefully he got on some pre-fishing today. Hopefully the wind and stuff died down for him. But it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun to watch tomorrow, man. I can't wait. I'm going to be on the water fishing. but my eyes and my attention is not going to be so much in our tournament. It's again going to be with this championship. So it's going to be really, really cool.
In the name of Jason Campbell, he would like me to mention to you Woo Pig Suey.
I only accept that from John Daly. Nobody else.
Jason
Daly,
Campbell says Woo Pig Suey.
Great. John Daly, the professional golfer, is the greatest Arkansas Razorback in history. Prove me wrong.
No,
I can't even name another Arkansas Razorback.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna call your bluff, and I'm gonna say D-Mac was probably the best Razorback of all time.
Refresh my memory who D-Mac is.
Eric Stratton.
No way.
Oh, dude, he was my favorite of all time.
NFL for like he played
3
NFL
days.
for like with
3 days.
He played what?
He played in the NFL for like 3 months with the Raiders.
And then he went to another team too, and then he played a full season.
Yeah, he went to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, we had D-Mac and Felix Jones, I think.
So listen, ever since he went to the Raiders, he turned that whole franchise to just win baby to just lose baby.
Oh, here we go.
I thought that was Jamarcus Russell from LSU kind of.
Well, it started with Jamarcus, but then it was passed down to D-Mac, I guess. You know.
I think that the Raiders just suck in general, and he got screwed on the draft.
No, they just suck.
I think anybody with Marcus in the name, whether it be Jamarcus or Dumarcus, they're all overrated and they're not very good at anything they do.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, like DeMarcus Coates.
I guess if I gave a shout out to Wendy's on air, I'd be worth something.
Oh, that's right.
Speaking of it. This segment is brought to you.
There we go. Oh my God. Oh jeez.
Well,
get your chocolate frosty chino at a store near you.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
So a little bit of Doug Wilson conversation here, because I did the Jeremy Baker thing, but like everyone has reiterated and what he probably came across on the podcast. When you go out and put up 108 on Tuesday, you kind of hop off the water and you know your water and you're ready for game day. And that's kind of where he's at. He's our conversation drifted off into work and drilling and asking me where I'm at and all kinds of cool things like that. His mindset is just he's much more laxed. He's much more laid back, and I'm going to let you guys in on something, and Doug, I hope you don't get mad at me. But I think it was Tuesday or Monday. He said, "Hey, since you're a stat guy, I got some stats for you." And it looked like he went through everything that he's done since 2019 on state challenges and things he's put up, and the numbers are sick.
So he Conrad Benetti you.
Yeah, so he basically said, you're going off stats, for this event, but if I can do anything that I've done in any of these times, it's not going to be close. He did not say that, but that's kind of how I was like, he believes in himself. He's just wanting to put it all together on tournament day. And if he does, like I said, it's gonna be a race. I'm gonna back off of the race to 101. I think first person to get to 100 plus wins, because I don't know if Jeremy can get much over that with the fish given. So if he goes out and puts up 100 plus, it's going to be rough, man. But like I said, he's having a good time. He's enjoying himself, and Doug's, he's going to bed early. He's going to get up at 2:00 in the morning, and he's going to go fish the big lake. He's going out to Kenonsville, and we know that Jeremy's going to be on Lake St. Clair. But it's going to be fun, man. It's like I told both of these guys, you got to withstand that initial punch. If another angler throws up a donkey alive in front of you and you're struggling a little bit, you got to understand a 10-hour day is a long fishing day, and you got to understand that you've been doing this for 6 weeks. Just keep grinding and don't lose your head. But I guarantee you tomorrow something's going to happen live and somebody's going to lose their head. And we'll see how the punches get thrown and how they're received.
Well, let me say this. I think Doug struggles on weekends, and he does. I mean, consistently, he says it himself. He'll go out there through the week and catch 110 inches. And then during the weekends when there's a lot more traffic, and then the weather's supposed to be really good, bluebird skies, they'll get the afternoon thunderstorms like they do in Florida. But Jeremy Baker's also has fantastic weather too, so he'll be able to go anywhere he wants to. The winds should not affect him whatsoever. He has post frontal conditions, so these guys their water is open to fish anywhere. And I will tell you, I think Jeremy has the upper hand on that because Doug, when the fish in Florida get when that sun gets high, those fish hide. And they become lethargic, and Doug's going to be fishing nothing but punching mats and all that stuff, and that's great. And that's where he's finding his fish in 3 to 4 feet of water and all that stuff. But as you know, Florida strain bass are finicky, and they're super affected by the weather. And if it's no wind, bluebird skies, Doug needs to get that early bite and put big numbers on the board early. Jeremy Smallmouth, as you know, St. Clair, Todd, those fish will bite all day long. And again, I mean, I think Doug could put up, let's say, 90 inches in an hour, their first hour in Florida, and a couple of hogs. But I'll be honest with you, that will shut down for the rest of the day. Jeremy says, okay, you know what? You put up 90 inches. I'll throw my 97 on you, all day long and see what happens. So I think Doug needs to have a big kicker to win. Let me just say that. He needs that 23, 24 inch or whatever to win. There's no doubt about it. I think I didn't really give you my inches or whatever, but I think Jeremy pulls it out. I think Jeremy pulls it out actually probably less than what we think. I think it's going to be 95 to 92 3/4.
I was actually, as you were talking before you said that last part, I was actually going to say, in my opinion, I don't think it's a race to 100. I think it's a race to 94, 95. And the reason being is, yes, both these guys have put up some insane numbers, but they've also been fishing for 6 weeks. I think fatigue and mental games are going to play a big role tomorrow. I'm expecting both in the 90s. I'm expecting the win by 2 inches either way, but I'm expecting the lead guy to not have more than 96 inches.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Marcus, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I would love to see 100 1/4 to 100 1/2.
We'll see. I know I like you guys know that I talk about this guy a lot, and he's not in, but I was out there with Eric Siddiqui, and he said about this time last year, he said they pulled off beds. They went to the first drop. He goes, I went out there and I threw my bait, and he said he ripped up 101 inches, and he goes, they bite better when they first pull off. They hang close to their, to where they bedded. And I think the picking for Jeremy, if he can get on the right shelf, that right drop off, I still think Jeremy could have a field day. So I'm going to stick with my 100 inches. I'm not going to stay at 101. That's rough. I'm going to say it's a race to 100 tomorrow. I really truly feel that way. And I could easily see Doug going out and having his best day on the water. Matt Frenchess did it in the championship in April, guys. Went out there and had his best day on the water, and he was confident. But the guy that was consistent stayed through, and we kind of have that little we have that thing going on here. Doug Wilson's kind of the Matt Frenchess in this matchup, and Jeremy Baker has taken that Conrad Benetti type consistency into this championship, and we're going to have to see how this works out. But obviously, Doug's going to have to probably I feel like he's going to have his best day on the water of the tournament to take it home, but I'm not saying he can't do it. I see a lot of similarities between April and May.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote the guys a message today, and I gave them their identifier, and I told them, I said, guys, it's an honor to be able to cover you guys and to see this, how well they have done. Both of them, no matter who wins tomorrow, both of them have been fantastic ambassadors for the sport. No one could say that. You couldn't get any two nicer guys, fishing. Either way, they're going to be gracious in victory and gracious in defeat. And I think both of them have great support and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, one of these guys is going to be able to take home this trophy. And either guy who takes home this trophy, I think KBBT and for what we do is in great hands. I mean, we're whoever the champion is, we crown them. We're in great hands. You know what I mean? I love the Michigan versus Florida matchup. The smallies versus largies. You don't get this anywhere else, guys. Period. You don't get this anywhere else in any other tour. You don't have a largemouth versus smallmouth, Michigan versus Florida. Let's see who battles it out from St. Clair and Kenansville or, the Fellsmere area. I mean, come on. This is amazing. I mean, again, we look at the backstories of this. I mean, the stories are writing themselves. And, again, couldn't get any two nicer guys. They love the sport. Grinders, grunts. I mean, they've been through it all, man. And this is what's so cool about this. We get to tell the story about all this. And, I had a great time tonight, guys. We met out. We met a lot of us anglers met that are in town for the Potomac River event. And we had like 7 or 8 of us that were KBBTers and, just had a good time, man. And we talked, man, and everybody, it's just so cool. They're so thankful, so open, and we're gonna beat each other's brains out tomorrow on the Potomac River, man. I mean, we're not giving an inch to each one of us, but man, it was just cool to come together as a brotherhood, as an anglerhood, basically, and just kind of just sit around and talk fishing and not really take the world's problems out of that whole air, out of our minds, and just have a good time, man. I tell you, this has been so cool. It's really brought a lot of people together, man. And, man, I'm just looking forward for the finale. And a lot of people, I'll be honest with you guys, we're talking about this team event, man. People are stoked for this team event coming up next weekend.
Boy.
They are, man.
You must have been talking to the A team.
They are so stoked for this event, man. I mean, they're already using why they're losing. I mean, it's crazy, I mean, Ryan Lignelli called me today. He's like, dude, I need the identifier for tomorrow. I'm like, dude, it's not until next week. He goes, I'm ready to go. I'm jacked up. I mean, we talking about something tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, you and Dustin are not on the same page, are you?
Yeah, if it was tomorrow, Greg wouldn't be getting his camper this
gone.
weekend.
They can't even get the right dates, But, I mean, he's jacked up about it, man. I mean, again, we just had so much cool stuff going on, man. And people are kind of talking about our future, and we're just kind of talking about what we're going to do and, my trip and all that stuff, man. So I can't wait. This is going to be so cool, man.
Seriously,
a lot of fun.
Are you telling me that I'm going to have to broadcast the whole team's tournament?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay.
I will say,
because I do have a chance. I am fishing.
Yeah, no. I got you, man. I'm going to be on the road, and Todd and I can do it, and we're gonna be good, man. We're gonna be fine.
I'll take my laptop to the water, and I can broadcast at my truck in the later afternoons off my laptop.
Yeah, well, I'll have my laptop with me, and actually, not my good laptop. My wife forbade me to bring it, but I'll have my other laptop with me, and we'll just have a good time with it, man.
We're gonna have, and I'm telling you guys, get ready for that. This coming, not today, of course, but 7 days from today. You will get the broadcaster special picks of the team's tournament. And I cannot wait to do them.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. A week from today, I should be. In fact, I'm going to be with Jonathan Pepin and Matt Linzeman up in the UP of Michigan, Lord willing.
That's awesome. I want to stay in the championship here. One other thing that I want to say, and and Jeremy, if I'm wrong, man, call me out. But I feel that Jeremy maybe feels like he has a lot on the line here because of what he wants to do with his future in kayak fishing. You know, Jeremy doesn't see himself as just winning this event and it's cool and it's, you know, this, that, and the other. You know, Jeremy has goals and aspirations to kind of move on, maybe even to get into like maybe partially full-time fishing and things like that. He wants his name to come up through the rankings. He knows that he can compete on that type of level. And I think that maybe that's where a lot of some of this pressure is coming into, because he wants to validate himself, say, hey, you know, I can do this.
He's already himself, man.
Right.
I mean,
I know, but I'm just saying, I think that it's just some self pressure that he's putting on himself, because, you know, these rankings are coming out on Monday. And we're out to see if maybe his name made the top 50. But if it didn't, you know, he's going to want to push for that as well as a lot of other anglers across the country. And I think that maybe he's putting a little added pressure on himself due to what he wants to do going forward in his kayak fishing career.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, it's, you know, like I had a couple messages of some anglers asking me, hey, can I put you down as a reference for my fishing resume? I'm like, heck yeah. You know, I mean, we're here to help you get to where you want to be. And, you know, using our platform, using our content, using, you know, whatever you've done on the KBBT platform, we're here, man. I mean, we're here to support you. Again, like we always said, angler first, angler first, angler first. We are here to help you in any which way you want. And if your goals and aspirations is to take your fishing career to another level, what can we do to help you? You know?
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's what it's all about, man.
And
most definitely.
Don't forget, guys, if you're not able to catch the live feed tomorrow when you're going through it, be sure to tune in for the award ceremony to find out which one takes it, and of course the naming of the trophy, which we are going to save for the finale when we get on tomorrow. What time are we going live tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the Rodney Kidden Award is going to be issued out to somebody. You know what I mean? So the Rodney Kidden Award, it will always be, and we will issue it either to Doug Wilson or Jeremy Baker. We'll figure it out.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, correct? Keeping the same time?
8 p.m. That's what time it's going to be on, man. And
so how about the stress if you go the leaderboard off and you know you did enough to catch the guy in front of you if you're the guy behind, but you don't know if he called.
I know.
That's the fun part.
And that's what happened with our last event with Matt and Conrad. So that was amazing. That finale was ridiculous, you know. I mean, it was insane. So we'll figure out what happens, man. Guys, I got a 4 a.m. wake up call. It's 10 o'clock. I'm heading out of here. I can't wait to see your broadcast tomorrow morning, man. It's going to be.
Hey, well, you go and protect your home waters there, because you got a little something to prove.
I do. Honestly, I'm taking this very seriously, man. You know, High Rock was not my thing. I mean, it's just a different lake that I'm not used to, but I just wanted to give my support to those events. But here, you know, the old, you know, I got to protect my house, man.
Well, we'll be giving some KBF updates and some Hobie updates tomorrow, as the Hobie BOS on Kentucky and Berkeley will be going on, and also the there's a lot of sticks out here, man. Actually, the event filled up a little bit, so there is a lot. We're pretty excited about it. Yeah, I think last time I saw they were pushing somewhere close to 50 for the Potomac River. We have 51. I'll just give you some of these names: Casey Reed, Jesse Wade, Ken Wood, Matt Chapman. Let me see here: Micah Marbra, Jacob Wolf, Greg Oakes, John Mayhews, Drew Heil. He's a great stick. Will Brewer, Derek Brundle, Robert Brown, Matthew Connett. Let me see here. And Devin Green. These guys are big names, man, in this area. So it's a big deal. Big deal. And Greg Nosar, I think, is in that event.
Yeah, it's my home. It's my home.
Yeah. Hey, well, good luck tomorrow. And, hey, you got to meet Matt Conant. I'm wondering, how is he in person?
He's very shy, but I'm
Is
telling
he?
you, he's humble. He's very shy. He's not a social media guy at all.
All right.
But I'm telling you what, man, he's a silent assassin, man. He knows how to catch them. Great guys, man. Derek and Matt are fantastic guys. I mean,
I told you Derek is he's hard to not like, and I saw him kind of doing that interview with a TV channel down there. It looked like he did a really good job out there on his new canoe pursuit with his XI3 motor guide out there doing that interview out there. And it looked like, was there a fish that jumped behind him and part of that interview? That was awesome.
That was a carp. Yeah.
Was it a carp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have Asian carp in there?
No Asian carp. It's just grass carp that comes in. It's their spawn time, and then the snakeheads are coming. Actually, Derek and I and Matt are going to go after the tournament. We're going to snakehead fish. They want to catch a snakehead, so I'm trying to get them on some snakeheads. Nice. And then, guys, it's just, I'm telling you, it's a great fishery, man. It's starting to come alive, and I can't wait to get out in the water, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I want to go blowfish some snakehead.
Oh, it's just it's a different world, man. So it's there's nothing like it, man. It's incredible.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow. Be safe out there on the water. Yep. Catch them and try to get a top 10.
I'm trying to take home the trophy, man. Either
there you go.
If you're second, you're first to lose, right?
In the name of Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. Well, Dale Earnhardt said this: if you're second, you're first to lose.
I'll take Dale Earnhardt over Ricky Bobby any day.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Boys.
Take and bake, baby.
Yeah, man. We'll talk to you guys later.
Later.
Yep, good luck. See ya.
Bye.
All right, KBBT. Well, it's been fun. It's been real, and we'll catch you guys early in the morning.
Yeah. See y'all later. Have a good one, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Adios.
See ya.